Life Audio.
Today I'll talk about that. John tells us about his short-lived career as a rapper and ponders how much protection his book would offer against a would-be assassin. Meanwhile, I change our rock band's name way too many times and try in vain to stop a rodent infestation. Plus a conversation about how God shapes us through pain and disappointment and why that's actually a good thing. Today's episode is not sponsored by Buc-ee's. You stopped here to use the restroom and then you spent $58 on snacks. But first, a word from our actual sponsor.
Johnny, we're back for another episode of Talk About That, your friendly neighborhood podcast.
We are in here. It's brighter today in the studio.
Well, it's darker outside, and Johnny, you know what? The darker the darkness, the brighter the bright. Wait.
It's always darkest before it goes totally black.
We put up some new lights.
Yeah.
And I was putting them together. You'll notice if you're watching today online at talkaboutthatpodcast.com, which we have now, I don't know, a couple hundred YouTube videos there for you to see.
So many videos.
If you want to see the new setup, there's a green light behind us right now.
Yeah.
And
to represent all the money.
Yes, exactly.
That you've spent.
It's spent, correct, not made. And I was down there working on it, and I looked up, and I could swore that the room, because these lights in here change, you can change the color of them.
Yeah, with your mind.
I was like, did the lights change color? Like, it really messed with me visually. But Johnny,
yeah, when you look directly into an LED, it'll do things to you.
A green LED, then come up and look at the, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Want that? Listen.
Come on, man.
Sometimes y'all are looking at the wrong thing too long. It burns into your...
And when you look up, everything looks different than it should.
Listen, if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah.
That's not the same. I'm mixing metaphors.
If you take a hammer to an LED, it'll break it.
Yeah, that's not good. You can't return that.
No, they don't. I've tried. Yeah. Johnny, I'm ashamed.
Oh.
As always.
That's a great start. Let's get into it.
I think I've talked about this before, but I'm almost done now putting all the stuff back together in the office except the picture wall. And I told you I'm going over old cassettes. Well,
yeah.
I found, in fact, I wish I had it handed to you because it's all.
Well, would we have anything to play it?
Yeah. Well, we're not going to play it.
Oh, okay.
We are not going to play it, hence the shame.
Oh, I see.
It's my first ever musical group, 6th grade.
Oh, wow. I want to know this.
It was my rap.
Have I ever heard this?
No, you've never heard this.
You rapped?
I rapped.
Oh, no.
My name was Mr. Icee. And there was I even remember the story behind it, but I don't think I can tell it.
Wait a minute. Like the Icee Bear?
Yeah. No, just like the Icee.
Like Vanilla Icee.
Then we were in Lion King and Icee or something, and something happened one time. And so
you said, I'm cool like this Icee.
It's crazy. And then my
giving you brain freeze, Joe.
My rapping cohort
is
Master MC.
Okay.
And then we realized, I started looking, because the dude...
I've heard of him. He went on to...
He did go on to be a DJ.
Did he really?
He did. I don't know if that's his full-time job, but he's a DJ. Occasionally we will catch up or just say hi on Facebook.
Wow. Man.
But I then realized he did the artwork on it. Yeah. And I guess we had other friends that wanted to be involved, so we started adding other people. There was a guy named DJ Slick on there. Does nothing on the track.
He just had the cool name.
It's just a cool name.
DJ Slick.
And then down at the bottom, Offset, there's another guy, like DJ Rhythm and Rhyme.
That's up too long.
I was like, this is way too many people.
DJ Rhythm. That seems like two people. DJ Rhythm, DJ Rhyme.
It was so I captured it.
Yeah. And these were all white kids, by the way, right?
No, one was not.
Oh, wow. Okay. Look at you.
Come on, man.
All right.
But it was pretty bad. Actually, it wasn't as bad as I thought. It was a Casio keyboard.
Okay.
And I was my little voice though was so high, and I'm the main rapper.
So you did find a way to listen to this.
Oh,
has Laura played it?
No one's ever going to hear it.
Wow.
But I have it as an MP3 now. So
this is great.
I know you really want to hear it.
Maybe for the patrons? John, how would you become a supporter of the show and thus get bonus content like DJ Icee?
I don't know. Mr. Icee.
I'm sorry.
I did not spend not that much time in Icee rap school.
My father's Mr. Icee.
Go ahead. You got to talk about that podcast.com.
Oh, yeah. And that's how you click on the upper right-hand link. That's how you support the show. Get ad-free content that way. If you want to send us an email, which we have a couple this week, we're going to read one, right? We have one that People are busting us on. Now we're getting fact checked because I fact checked myself.
I know, and I feel very.
And you got to fact check yourself before you fact wreck yourself. To quote Mr. Icee. But I fact checked myself on using the word dearth wrong, and then the same episode we used. I think we talked about radar, and I said bats use radar, I believe,
and
bats use
sonar,
right? Bats use sonar,
and I just wasn't. Again, Johnny, I'm working the production over here.
You can't be out here just for some stupid thing that I say.
Pay attention to everything.
Anyway,
I knew what you meant.
Yeah,
and you know what? Maybe that's what the listeners need to do. They should know what we mean.
What's funny is, like, we could just be trolling you. We could just be like, hey, if we say something a little bit wrong, it'll make more people get involved.
I wish that was the case, but it's not.
No, we're just actively wrong.
No, I did notice, though, it wasn't a Christian rap.
Yeah.
So the first one, though, the whole song is like, yo, he's back.
Okay.
And so that's funny because...
But it's not non-Christian.
No.
It's just
No, it was anti-drugs.
Oh, okay.
So the second verse, I forgot, is all anti-drugs.
Right.
And I do all the rapping, and my buddy is just kind of like...
Is it one of those, like, drug-free, so put the crack up?
It's very much like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my buddy is just the Kirk Franklin. He's just the yo, he's back in the chorus. Icee exact was what it was. And then... But I did like the drugs. The wrong thing to do. They make you feel real.
Wait a minute. You didn't want to play the track. You didn't want to play the track.
No, I can't do it.
But you're gonna do.
But I'm telling you,
you're gonna give us the tease of it.
It was interesting to me that I was.
Do it in a high pitched voice.
And then it was so funny. There's some bass that we're trying to put in the beginning out of the Casio keyboard, literally into the external speaker of a Walkman or something. It did not sound great. And then my buddy comes in and goes, this is version 2 now with the bass. And so we do the whole thing again.
Oh,
and
this is...
Man, I'll tell you what.
I'm getting like secondhand cringe.
Oh, I was This
is great, though.
It was hard. Well, but I'm coming on here to be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to let you see all of it.
I'm giving y'all suckers brain freeze. Mr. Icee.
Oh, my
gosh.
That's
great.
And that's when I knew I had a career in music coming.
You knew. There was like the inner workings of...
Dude, I was sending you some deep cuts of stuff, like both video, audio. Like I found all kinds of stuff and visual.
Yeah.
Like I sent you the poster. Mm-hmm. Literally, we just started. We were called 5 Smooth Stones.
Yeah.
And
I told that story, by the way, in a Q&A this weekend at a comedy show.
Did
they were
you?
like, what other things have you done before comedy? And I said that I was in a Christian rock band, and I started telling the story. And I have that one. It was great because it was the last question. Some of the questions had veered into kind of serious territory. And I was like, this is kind of a bummer of a Q&A. But it was actually fine. And people wanted that, but they wanted more like heartfelt answers about my family and stuff like that. But then this person asked what had I done before, and I said I was in a band, and I told the whole 5 Smooth Stones. I said, this is before the internet. You could really look up and see if there were other bands with the same name. So we looked up. There were like 5 other 5 Smooth Stones.
25
for a total of 25 Stones. And then we changed it to 11th Hour, recorded a CD under 11th Hour, and then we found like 6 other 11th Hours for a total of 66 hours. And then, so we changed our name again to Scarlet Thread, and we recorded a CD under the name Scarlet Thread. And by then we knew a lot of Scarlet Threads are out there. And so we changed our name to Amy Grant, but that was taken too. And that got a big laugh, and so I was able to go like, and I rode that kind of laugh into the show. Because that was pre-show. Like doing a Q&A pre-show is really awkward because like some of the people that are there, they bought the extra $10 ticket, but they're kind of dragged there by their wife or whatever. And they're just like, I don't even know who this guy is. Why would I care to ask him a question?
Right.
When did you know you were gonna? You're like, who are you?
Shouldn't they see you perform first so they want to know?
But then like they want to go home. You know?
Yeah.
It's weird to do a Q&A anytime. Is honestly the truth. But I enjoy doing them because it is fun getting to meet some of the fans. Because some people were there, they were really excited. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
You know what excites me, John?
What's that?
Ads.
Do they?
No, but I will say. It is important to have partnerships with advertisers to help us keep the lights on. Yeah. No, but listen, these green lights behind us, they don't pay for themselves.
No, that'd be weird.
It would be weird. Self-populating green light just appearing out of nowhere.
It just makes its own money.
We didn't even know where it came from. I just walked in, there was a green light. No, we had to buy that.
Yeah.
And so we appreciate our fine sponsors. And here, let's take a minute. Let's hear from a couple of them. But to finish your story, you found some old relics from those days. You found some old posters.
I found a poster
from the Scarlet Thread days.
where we did
or Five Smooth Stones days.
Five Smooth Stones.
Oh, wow.
And I sent you one.
Yeah.
Where we did it was a
basically
nursing home.
It was a nursing home.
It was a nursing home, and they advertised us as...
And you know how we got it? Finley got it for us, our bass player.
Because he
worked at Baptist Hospital, and he goes, hey, there's these old folks, and they do these gospel sings sometimes, but if you wanted to do one, they let us do it.
And but they couldn't say that
they couldn't
a rock
say
band, so it said, come here, Five Smooth Stones play Southern gospel music.
Yeah, sweet, yeah.
And then the time was
marked out with a
marked
ballpoint
out
pen.
with a Sharpie, and they had put a new time in.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow. You know what else, though?
This was pre-Canva. You couldn't just go whip up a poster.
But you know what else I found?
What?
I found a thank you letter from the director of the nursing home.
No.
Yeah. Saying how much they enjoyed it, and we're always invited
The only
back.
thank you letter we ever got.
That I know
from any
of.
performance.
Yeah. And then I found our very first poster from our very first show. I think I sent you that one. That was a hideous poster.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, it wasn't even like the words and the images were somehow on top of each other. I guess we put them into a copy machine or something.
We made it with clip art, like an old VBS.
It was something. And we have one photo from that show, way far back. You can't hardly see anything, but it's like this the whole room. But you and I, the night before, were all over UT campus putting those posters up. Remember that night?
Yeah. I don't know why nobody came.
Yeah. But back then, we did the best we could.
We did. I had I was full on headset mic back in those days.
You were the headset.
I was the headset mic.
And you were on an acoustic.
The headset mic, too, was a lot of my stage fright. My mom was always like, you're backing away from the mic when you sing. So she was like, when she discovered headset mic, she was like, he can't run from this.
Yeah. And then I ended up using the headset mic for years.
Yeah.
It was like, we switched. You became the lead singer, went into the mic.
And I became Mr. Icee.
And the headset mic helped because I was playing two instruments, because I was switched between guitar and keyboard, so I didn't have to put up two mics. And then I preached with it in youth for years.
Right.
So they used to call it the Britney mic, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Found a lot of pictures of that, too. So
preaching with a headset mic, bro. This is not the little cheek, subtle. No. This is very it was coming out. The Countryman, like full on Garth Brooks, Britney.
Well, it's bigger than a Countryman, yeah. It had you could really see it was like a 90s, late
big
90s.
Big foam thing on the end of it.
I like that mic. Remember that video we did where John Carey, who is the guy who followed me as youth pastor, who's a dear friend still, we did a whole video of like a montage of training him when we were announcing him. And there's one scene where I'm teaching how to put on the headset mic.
Yeah.
And
which there is an art to it.
Yeah. And he's trying to put it on, he can't get it on. And it's like there's cheesy like 80s music going on behind it,
Yeah.
And so I like no, and I grab it from him, and it looks like we did a jump cut.
Yeah.
And I just put it perfectly on my head, but I remembered that it wasn't.
No, you just knew how to put it on.
I literally popped that thing on my head in under a second.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. And it looked like it was, So that was...
The thing I remember from that video was one of the training questions. He had to answer the riddle of like, you have this many students coming. How do you know how much pizza to order? You have 150 students. How do you know how much pizza to order? And
he's like, I was easy. I ordered 15 pizzas.
And I'm like, how did you get that answer? And he was like, divide by pi. Which is so stupid.
So we picked up pizzas for a thing. We did an Enneagram workship for Sadie's volleyball team.
Yeah.
And we were picking up pizzas, and I told that joke.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't know if she got enough pizza. I was like, well, she probably divided by pi, it still goes, Johnny.
It's still, listen, that's all I'm happy about. I remember one time, Caleb Wharton, who was too young to be in my college group, but he was in youth group when I was a college pastor here. And then he made it when he was in high school. By then, I was doing comedy on the road and stuff, and I was doing the joke medley. And he was like, hey, there's a talent show at school. Can I use some of your one-liners in the talent show? And I go, sure. Well, he did. He won. He won he sent me a picture of like this big sash. He's like Mr.
Oh my God.
Mount Juliet High or whatever school he went to.
I did not know that he won.
And I go, my jokes have made, it's like I was living vicariously through him.
Right.
I was like, these never helped me.
Someone got recognition at high school.
I know.
For being funny, and it wasn't
so
you.
strange.
Wow.
Yeah. He was like, look, he's the smart, funny kid. Like everything I wanted to do, Caleb achieved it.
If you ever died.
Yeah. Wait a minute, this got dark.
Can I go on tour with your jokes and like in honor of you?
100%.
And use them?
100%.
Because I think I could get the delivery down.
I had an idea about that. There was a film, maybe like a movie of the week kind of a thing that I had an idea of. And it's like a guy is getting ready to film his first Netflix special. He's worked his whole life to get to this point, and then he dies of cancer. But all of his comedian friends get together and do pieces of the show in his honor.
Nice.
And it's called The Last Laugh.
Wow.
John, wouldn't that be? Maybe it's too schmaltzy, but it's interesting. Now somebody's going to take that idea and make $1 million.
I wonder if I could write
But
that.
what is $1 million right now in this economy? Let's be honest.
Guys.
I wouldn't even know. My brother used to do that, by the way, not to pick on him, but I used to laugh because we'd be on the road, and he plays the lottery sometimes. Like, he'll just do like one ticket, 2 tickets, Powerball. And the Powerball was like, for a while it was at $1 billion or whatever, and then it'll reset. And we're like driving through Kentucky, and he looks at the billboard, and I go, "Are you going to play today?" And he goes, "Nah, man, it's only at 40 million." I just thought it was so funny that I was like, "B, that's like life changing.
What am I ever going to do with 40
That's generation changing funny." Nah, not even worth my time. I'm not going to 7-Eleven to do that.
Fine.
I'll wait till it gets back up to $1 billion.
I'll make sure everyone else in America is playing to decrease my chances.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll wait till then.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Lottery, not a sponsor.
Well, it could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sponsors. I
That's
hear
true.
them, and you never know
Strange
what they might be.
bedfellows out there for talk about that.
Well, Tennessee Lottery is an educational organization,
It's
Johnny.
true. That is true. Is it still called the Hope Scholarship?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
There's 2 of them. There's a Hope and the...
Peace.
There's another one. Promise.
Oh, okay.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, won't that?
Won't it? Come on, y'all.
Take the
Can't
wealth
win
of
if
the
you don't
wicked.
play, y'all. You can't win if you don't. The wealth, the wicked laid up for the just.
Hey, it's about that time, Johnny.
Oh, great.
It's my segment we call They Talked About That. Today I actually got this from Lectio 365 app, which if you guys don't use that, we use it as a church, and it's unbelievable. I mean, it's just amazing. It's been very transformative. And even if because I'll be honest, I don't feel like I'm in my strongest spiritual season right now. But Lectio is at least that 10, 12 minutes a day to help me stay grounded and be reminded of God's word, and it's prayer together. But it's great if you haven't done it. Check it out, but use sound-canceling headphones preferably, and make sure you listen because there's music and stuff in it, but it's just a great little daily thing. I think like 300,000 people around the world use it every day, so you get to pray with people around the world. But there was a quote there from an author named David Brooks, and it says, "The people who have been made larger by suffering are brave enough to let parts of their old self die." The people who have been made larger by suffering are brave enough to let parts of their old self die. I think there's like 5 different sort of prongs to this process of this particular quote today. One, yesterday was Ash Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wait, today's Ash Wednesday. Sorry.
This is Wednesday as we record. Yeah.
And so the beginning of Lent, and we're observing Lent. It's not a thing we've done in our church before as a whole, but we're really doing it this year. Helping just to sort of learn and grow in it, but. In general, and I'll be preaching on it this Sunday, about the wilderness. The idea of Jesus' journey was leading to a cross. And so as we move towards Easter, that we reflect and spend time and repent, looking at our lives and where we should be, and take this 40 days especially to prepare ourselves for the resurrection by allowing ourselves, to be shaped and formed in wilderness times. And so some people give things up for that time, but there's a giving or a giving of alms aspect. There's a praying aspect. So I encourage you guys with Lent. But that idea, though, of letting some part of your old self die, and I love the idea that suffering makes us larger, which I think we run from it, in our lives. I know I do.
Yeah.
I think I told you that there were some things I was upset with God about, and the Lord kind of revealed to me that 75% of my prayers are requests for him to lead me away from trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
Insulate me from suffering.
Right. Take this away.
Yeah.
And he had to deal with me on hey, I don't always lead you around this. Sometimes I lead you through it.
Yeah.
And you can't be mad.
That is an interesting way to put it, though. Yeah. The people who are made larger by suffering. That is really poetic. Interesting.
Well, it is, because it does, I don't know if there's anything in life, and that's the whole point. Wilderness is what shapes everyone.
Yeah.
Like, and certainly in the biblical narrative, right? I mean, there's just from the get-go, and Lectio was talking about that, like, even the wilderness pre-creation, where it talks about the Spirit of God hovering over the face of the chaotic waters, basically, and bringing order out of chaos, is a form of wilderness. And then sending Adam and Eve out of the garden into a wilderness living, basically, of life. Now you're going to toil the ground, and it's always going to be hard. So the shaping and then the redemption that he always plans, through those things, and certainly as you come out of those things. But and I've been thinking about that with my office and all the other stuff. Like, what parts of me, like, literally I'm throwing things away that feel like an identity of another time. Like, I feel like I've lived like 10 lives.
Yeah, it's like relics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were there for all of these things. So when I see like old videos, and the kids would call me PJ, and it's like, and my therapist
I
knows,
called you Mr. Icee, but
Mr. Icee, yeah. But like, that guy is still me.
Yeah.
But if you're an Enneagram person, my 7 part was very much, my fun part was much more engaged, than and at the moment I stopped doing youth ministry.
PJ's a fun name.
PJ's a fun name.
Yeah.
And,
Hey.
it was fun. Me and you could run the games and all the
Finger
stuff.
guns all around.
Yeah, man. Just, a backwards hat and all the stuff.
Oh, backwards hat.
Like, I don't need to let that die. I can still learn from it. There's nothing wrong with that. But this just struck me this week that everything you do, as you say, affects everything you do. And there has been a suffering, though.
Yeah.
When I look at kids and know, like, we've had kids who've passed away. So when I see a picture of them or find
some of your old youth group kids.
Yeah, I found several things from a couple kids who passed away. And I remember there are others that I remember their troubles, and especially kids from like Knoxville. And I realized that I moved away, and I didn't keep up with them.
And it is a marker in their life too.
Yeah.
Because I remember my youth pastor that was kind of my John Driver, when he moved to take a job as a senior pastor at a church. He moved to a small town north of Nashville from Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And it was...
Where did he move?
I think he moved to like White House or Portland. It was one of those, yeah. And so it was one of those like, what am I going to do? And so, it was... Well, obviously I rallied, and I did okay, but it's like that thing of like, you think, what am I going to do without this mentor?
Oh, I mean, I'd say, 5 or 6 kids moved here?
Right.
And went to our church, and we still, have...
And that's how a cult works. No, come on.
But it's very like, there's regret there, I got fired. It's like, I didn't just leave them. But,
and I found out way more about my guy's situation too, and it was a lot of pressure, and there was jealousy there with the senior pastor of him. So that led to that situation. You don't know what you don't know when you're a kid. You're all 14.
Right.
You're like, why would he leave us? And you realize, like, as a grown-up, you're like, oh, there was a lot more behind the scenes going on here.
I know, and I hate that. And I go, what do they carry today, or do they carry anything today? Or in some ways, it's like, do they still remember that? Or have they completely forgotten me? And that also feels bad.
Yeah.
But then I think that's the part I can let die. Like, hey, this was never about... And I think as we've come out of some of, like... I'm going to use the word evangelical here. The evangelical way in the 90s, especially in youth ministry, was basically, be the hero dad, right? The hero fun dad of everything, and show up and be that adult that parents just can't be. I can't be my kid's youth pastor. I'm so glad she has them. Like, I can't do that. It's just different in a parenting role. But but they're very aware though that they're not supposed to be the heroes, right? And we always tried not to. But at the same time, did it foster bad things? I mean, as I go into, I think it fostered a lot of good things too. But as I go into sort of the next seasons of life or have grown, it's kind of like, hey, it's okay. It's okay that we did the best that we could, right? Yeah. With where we were. Also, there may be mistakes that I need to know about to repent of. I don't know. I mean, that's what's hard. I told you about the song that I found where I talked about God being ashamed of me, or I've listened to sermons. And I think that's where I really go, how did that bad theology, I'm just going to call it what it is.
Yeah.
How did that bad theology...
Did you pass it on?
Yeah. Did it affect those kids? Even though we were all part of the system together. And I was 21. When I started, doing this. But anyway, I just think wherever you are in life, I mean, we want to avoid the suffering. We want to avoid those hard questions and all, but God is shaping us. I mean, I think C.S. Lewis talked about that, right? He whispers to us in our pleasures, but screams at us in our pain, and so there's a...
Yeah, and just like work, like I saw this great quote, a great clip from, maybe I talked about it on one of the pods, but it was actor Ethan Hawke, and he was talking about like, what is life really all about? And it's to the point of the quote about like struggles making us larger, suffering making us larger. He was like, we know it's not money that makes you really happy, because there's a lot of unhappy people with a lot of money. We know money doesn't make us good, because there's a lot of evil people that have control and money. And he goes, what is success then? And he was like, to me now, and he now does a lot of things behind the scenes. He directs documentaries and he has these passion projects. And his daughter's an actress on Stranger Things. She's one of the characters on Stranger Things. So Ethan Hawke's daughter was the redhead.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think. And but anyway, he's just this really philosophical kind of person and a deep thinker, especially for somebody out of the Hollywood system that was a child actor. And he said, to me, it's like hard work, and like putting your mind to something is like there's something to that. Like we're supposed to struggle. We're supposed to put our and it reminded me, your quote today reminded me of a quote from Margaret Thatcher. She talked about I read it years ago. It was basically like, when you think about your best day on earth, you won't think about a day spent in leisure. You'll think about a day when you had a lot to do and you got it done.
Yeah.
And I think that's true. Like we always kind of think, especially if you work a really work-a-day job where you're like, I'm just waiting for that cruise, I'm waiting for that vacation, I'm waiting for that Disney trip, whatever it is. That's okay. But like, if you think about your best day when you're dying and you're thinking about your best days, it's going to be a day that you had a lot to do and you got it done. And you were there's a pride that you take in yourself. Not like a selfish pride, but there's honor in struggle. There's honor in obstacles.
Yeah. No, there is. And I don't know how to be, James chapter 1 talks about not trying to, my dad, I only quote my dad on this one, the Living Bible. He always is his favorite scriptures. Dear brothers and sisters, is your life full of difficulties and temptations, then be glad for it. Don't try to squirm out of your problems, is one translation, because it gives your faith a chance to grow. Yeah. And he would start so many things saying that, and you're like, but he would say James is crazy sounding. Like, who's glad while they're in difficulties and temptations? And I don't know. Paul used that language too. He gloried, in the tribulations some. So I've yet to find the secret of being good with it. Mm-hmm. I think, was Jesus happy in the wilderness as he hadn't eaten and had no drink for 40 days and nights, and being like, I don't think, and that goes back to the thing, happy's not the goal. Right. It's not. Yeah. When glad, I think it's what's fulfilling, what is enriching, what is, when you look back on your life, what makes a life? That's the other thing from the quote that I forgot about Ethan Hawke, was he said responsibility. That was his main overarching thing. He was like, I'm responsible for these people. I'm responsible for this thing that I've been told I have to do if I want to make a living. But beyond that, like, I have this overarching thing that we try to avoid responsibility for things. He was like, when that's the good stuff. Yeah. Like, I don't know, like, find somebody to care about and go care about that person. Right. Even if it hurts, because that's what you're going to look back on and say, like, I'm glad I did that thing. Yeah. And generally those things don't last forever as they are. And that's the other, for those of us who are of the responsible persuasion to an unhealthy extent, we have to also go, like, I mean, my sort of philosophy of church a little bit. So everybody in every church is passing through in life and seasons and stages, and possibly just to go to another church because they don't like you. I mean, like, there's a thousand things. Some people will stay 20 years and some people will stay 2 years and some people won't stay at all. And the whole, like, church structure is so built around growth. Yeah.
How do I keep you? Right. How do I keep you happy?
Man, I've spent so many years devising systems and strategies and thoughts with everyone of how do we not let it. And now when someone needs to go, we had close friends who left recently, and I knew why, because we were in community together, and it was because they were looking for something more liturgical and all these things, and it was great. And I had breakfast with the guy this morning. Like, I don't have something of like, oh, we're only friends. And I wish I'd had that earlier. I regret that. We can only be friends because we're so busy. In church is the only time we see each other. And that was some truth to that. But I wish I'd have developed more of those friendships, outside of just whether or not you're in my church.
Right.
Because it's not sustainable. It's not fair to friends and all those things, but people are changing. People are, and this is not I wish people would stay longer in whatever church they're in. I don't mean like...
It's too late, John. I'm gone.
He's gone. That's
he told me, John said it was okay. John said it was fine, you guys.
Everyone just left their church.
Yeah. All right. That was a great sum up. That was John's quote of the week. Go ahead and head on out.
Get out of your church. I don't know how we got there.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
Being made larger by suffering. So.
Church, not a sponsor. John, let's do my segments. The first one we called Johnny's Old Jokes. Actually, subtitle, Joke About That. These are two of my favorite kinds of street jokes. One is there's an idiot in the joke. There's always two guys and the third guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
I like those kind of jokes. You heard those jokes when you were in middle school and high school. There's always those kind of jokes. And then the second kind of joke that I like is, well, it's really kind of an idiot too, or like a fanatic of some kind.
Yeah.
So there's a twist in the end. So first one, this is the idiot style. Three guys stranded on a desert island. Perfect premise. Mm-hmm. They find a magic lantern containing a genie who grants them each one wish. The first guy wishes he was off the island and back home. The second guy wishes the same. The third guy says, I'm lonely. I wish my friends were back here.
Come on now.
Want that?
See what happened, guys?
See? That guy's an idiot. John, secondly, it's the World Cup final. This is kind of a soccer spin. This might be a British spin on this joke. I've heard other versions of it where it was a football game. But it's the World Cup final. A man makes his way to his seat right next to the pitch. He sits down. Noticing that the seat next to him is empty, he leans over and asks his neighbor if someone will be sitting there. No, says the neighbor, the seat's empty. This is incredible, said the man. Who in their right mind would have a seat like this for the final and not use it? The neighbor says, well, actually, the seat belongs to me. It was supposed to come, I was supposed to come with my wife, but she passed away. This is the first World Cup final. We haven't been together since we got married. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's terrible, but couldn't you find someone else, a friend, a relative, or even a neighbor to take her seat? The man shakes his head. No, they're all at the funeral.
Guys.
Yeah. See, sometimes, John, we make sports into an idol.
Boy, don't we, though.
I'm trying to teach a lesson. This is what you would do if you're using this as like a sermon illustration.
My sixth grade self would have made that into a verse.
It would have been like,
that's why you people are wrong. Okay.
Some of you Vols fans are out of control.
If you cheer as loud at church as you did at football, it'd be a really loud church.
It'd be a weird church.
Yeah, like you need to maybe. If you'd put on face paint.
Wouldn't that be something?
It's like,
that would be cool. For holding up. People do hold up signs at churches now and say, like, we're so glad you're here. And when they're parking you or whatever.
Yeah, but not in the service.
Not in the service.
That'd be weird. Like a big John 3:16, like while you're preaching. You're like, dude, that's what I'm preaching about.
Start the wave. If we could just get a wave going.
Come on now. A wave offering.
Oh, that'd be something. Yeah, everybody's got hankies.
Yeah. That is one of my pet peeves.
Is it?
The whole like...
Oh, the idea that we need to be like
some of y'all
more emotional.
At Neyland Stadium than you were at church. It's like, I mean...
Yeah.
It's a different kind of excitement.
Yeah.
Like, look, if I was in heaven right now, who knows? You know what I'm saying?
You might do a wave.
But right now, I'm sitting here. Just...
Yeah. I'm having a hard time. I need you to give me a break, Pastor. Come on, y'all. John, let's do This Week in History. We call it Talk About Then. This week, John, 1963, a very important toy was patented. Do you want to take a wild guess? 1963?
Wait for it.
I'm going to say it's very simple, and it's based on physics.
Slinky?
Nope.
Rubik's Cube?
Nope.
Wow.
You're just going to...
I'm done.
John, in 1957, Joan Anderson brought back a bamboo, quote, exercise hoop from Australia and called it a hula hoop.
Oh, yeah.
After the motion used by Hawaiian dancers, her husband showed it to Arthur Spud Mellon of Whammo. God, what a great toy company name. Whammo.
My name's Spud Mellon of Whammo.
I mean, dude, if you're Spud Mellon of Whammo, that's a business card.
What if he was like just a really like just kind of stoic guy?
The dullest person you ever met.
Spud. Like he was.
I work for Whammo. Let's not make a big thing about it. Yes, I'm called Spud. You might have heard of Mr. Potato Head. That was me too. No, I don't think that's actually true.
That's funny.
Anyway, they agreed in 1957 with a gentleman's handshake that they would share in any profits. However, the company would cut them out of the deal and they got nothing.
Wow.
Whammo! You got screwed. That's awful. A fad for the toy. began in July 1958 with 25 million plastic hoops sold in less than 4 months and more than 100 million units sold in 2 years. That's wildfire.
And you know, what I think about when you say that is the ecological consequences of that. Like, I have heard about
hula hoops in landfills and stuff,
like in the ocean, and they found these dolphins like hula hooping underwater, and it's not what they're supposed to be doing, Johnny.
No, that's not. First of all, that's not true. You've made up a lie. I don't think, can a hula hoop kill something? It's too big.
That was the point.
Maybe like a whale. Whale gets caught in there.
I mean, they got these dolphins jumping through hoops, and it's like, guys,
I don't like it.
Okay,
it's too much red tape. There's a lot of red tape in the ocean too, probably.
Yeah.
But anyway, all these units sold in 1958. Mellon later claimed he invented it and applied for a patent in 1959, which was granted this week, 1963. So this is kind of the anniversary of evil deed.
Spud was a bad guy.
Yeah, I don't like it one bit.
Sorry if you're.
We've made him a whimsical character, and this guy was actually corporate.
You knew where this was going, and you still did it. This is all new to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that.
That's awful. There's so many of those inventions like that where somebody comes up with an idea and then they just get taken for everything they're worth.
I've never been afraid. People always like, did you mail it to yourself so it doesn't? I was like, dude, if someone stole something I wrote, it would mean it was good, and they never have.
Nobody wants any of our stuff. I do have to happen with jokes, and there'll be clips on TikTok.
Yeah, you've had
Somebody's
jokes stolen.
or people on TikTok, they're just like lip syncing my joke, and they have way more followers than me. It's a little irritating, but I'm like, what can you do?
Yeah.
You know, lip sync away. If you want to make a TikTok video of my Q-tip bit is the one that went like pretty viral on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, but what they did though, they took the audio from my Dry Bar special. You can claim it. You can be like, this is now my audio. And now it can be sampled on other TikTok videos, which I don't know how you get away with that.
You claim it as the artist.
No, they did.
They can't do that.
They did. And so like it'll say like original audio from whatever their account name is. And then I saw it had been used 600 more times. I was like, there are 600 versions of this. Sure enough, I start clicking on them. It's just people lip syncing that Q-tip.
You should be able.
There's no.
Guys, if you're out there and you work.
We will find you.
Somewhere.
And copyright law, what would it be?
Yeah, I don't know.
TikTok.
If you're a TikToker.
Well, everybody kind of kept thinking like, well, TikTok is going to lose some of its influence.
No.
You know, it's going to wane.
I literally just approved time for TikTok right now as we were talking for my daughter.
You approved TikTok time?
Yeah, TikTok time. Yeah.
How much time do you give her incrementally?
I gave her an hour more.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
An hour more?
Yeah, that means she was on it in school.
She has to, you have to do it like manually? You have to go into an app and approve it?
No, she asks
Just
and
to
it lets
submit
me
it.
do it in the text.
Father.
Yeah, well, that's just like, I was like, hey,
Please, Father.
I'll probably approve, but we just need to make sure when you have to ask, then we know we're having
You
time.
rule with an iron digital fist,
Let me tell
don't
you.
you? John,
yeah.
Speaking of iron, this week, 1946, Winston Churchill coined the phrase the Iron Curtain. He remarked, an iron curtain has descended across the continent, referring to the Russian threat. The term, the Iron Curtain, would become synonymous with the boundary dividing Europe into two separate areas from the end of World War II to the end of the Cold War in 1991. The Iron Curtain.
Yeah.
It seems like an apropos. We'll just leave that there. McKinley's ghost told John Schrank to shoot Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah,
that's
happened.
what he said. We've mentioned this on the pod before in This Week in History, but this is a little bit of a larger piece of the story because this is when he got shot and the speech in his pocket protected him. But this is the longer. I wanted to read this because this is very fascinating. First of all, this guy's obviously
he's not
mentally well. Bavarian-born saloon keeper. He was born this week, by the way, 1876. He shot former U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt in 1912 in Milwaukee. He claimed William McKinley's ghost told him to shoot Roosevelt to avenge his death and as a warning to those who'd run for 3 terms for president. Roosevelt, who served as president from 1901 to 1909, was running for re-election. Roosevelt was on the way to deliver a speech when shot. The bullet was deflected by his eyeglasses and a 50-page copy of his speech he was carrying in his jacket. Despite the wound, he insisted on delivering his speech before being taken to the hospital. Roosevelt completed his 90-minute speech with blood seeping through his shirt, opening with, this is his opener, "Friends, I shall ask you to be as quiet as possible. I don't know whether you fully understand that I've just been shot." This is wild.
Yeah, he never missed an opportunity to...
This is some grandstanding stuff. I don't know if you fully understand that I've just been shot, but it takes more than that to kill a bull moose.
Yep.
So I guess that's where he was kind of coining his invoking his nickname, or was that when the nickname came into being? Was it already his nickname?
I don't think it was. I think it was already, but his party was the Bull Moose Party. He had a different name.
Okay.
It's a progressive party, or whatever. But that was the given name.
Takes more than that to kill a bull moose. But fortunately, I had my manuscript. So you see, this is like this is that book that you wrote that had to be divided into 3 books.
Yeah, he had it in his pocket.
This is your
somehow.
bull moose moment.
Yeah.
Can't take me out. Peking, Peking, Peking. You're like holding it up like Wonder Woman's bracelets, just deflecting bullets with your gigantic dirt. It's a dearth of words. No, it's not a dearth. It's a glut of words. It's too many words.
Yeah,
a surplus. Anyway.
Cornucopia. Sorry.
The bullet went through, and it probably saved me from it going into my heart. The bullet is in me now, so that I cannot make a very long speech, but I will try my best. Doctors determined it would be too dangerous to remove the bullet, so Roosevelt carried it with him for the rest of his life. I didn't know that part. Do you know this? The bullet stayed? It was too dangerous to remove it because I guess it was too close to his heart.
Well, that's how it killed
like the lead poisoning, right?
Was it McKinley? Who was it that was shot? And they would have been fine, but they kept digging in the wound until he got infected.
These unsanitized implements and stuff.
Well, they knew to sanitize. This is post-Civil War, but I just think that
they're just bare hands.
At that point.
I don't know what they're doing. Digging in there.
Sniffing dog.
Suck it out with a straw. Schrank was declared insane and institutionalized for the remainder of his life. This is some dark. Here's another one, John, from your book, Bad Days in History.
Well, I didn't write this book. It was just on my shelf.
It's from a book on your shelf.
Now we can see all the books.
This is from this week, 1702. It's called The Enemy Underfoot. Done in by a mole. William III was one historical figure for whom a molehill actually had far more significance than any mountain. Indeed, the English king died on this date from injuries sustained after his horse tripped on one. And for that, the unassuming rodent responsible for the lethal mound, the little gentleman in velvet, was toasted by William's political enemies for being the agent of his demise.
Wow.
Done in by a molehill.
Wow.
Won't that?
Come on, guys.
Some of y'all are out here.
Right now.
There's a molehill in your way.
You're on your high horse.
You're on your high horse. Better look out.
It's going to take just a little molehill to bring you down. Oh, and how great that fall is, Johnny.
And will it be your Damascus moment, or will it be your
William
ultimate William III?
William III moment.
John, finally, this week, 1939, Adam Osborne was born. Do you know Adam Osborne?
Not personally.
He created, inadvertently, the Osborne effect, which bankrupted his company. The Osborne effect is named for him because he was a Thailand-born British-American personal computer pioneer. He created the first commercially available portable computer, the Osborne, in 1981. He's also credited with the Osborne effect after announcing the development of his company's new advanced computers. Buyers chose to wait for the newer computers, thus killing the sales of the current Osborne 1, bankrupting the company. So this is still happening.
Yeah.
You have people that'll wait. I don't think we kind of reverse engineered. I think the Osborne effect has now given way to the whole thing of like, we make things obsolete to sell the new thing.
Right. Now your old one won't work anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. They'll figure out a way to kind of make it, it's slowed down. Oh, big surprise.
Yeah.
It won't reboot now.
Shocker. Yeah.
But anyway, back in the day, it was like, well, why would I get the Osborne 1 when the Osborne 2 is right around the corner?
Interesting.
People do that with iPhones, too, a little bit.
Yeah. I wonder if they do it with the podcast. Like, why would they listen to this episode? They know a new one's coming.
Yeah.
They don't do that.
Is the new one going to be better, though?
No. It's going to be just like this.
Then there's the Ozzy Osbourne effect where you play our podcast backwards.
It's totally.
And it tells you to worship the devil. Probably not. Please, guys, if you're out there.
Don't worship the devil.
Don't worship the devil.
That is the opposite of the message we're trying to.
It is.
Yeah.
Don't worship the devil.
Even though it's backwards. Wait. So it's not that.
If we say don't worship the devil forwards. Don't. It's a double negative. Run, everybody. But listen, John, we're so grateful for our listeners. And if you want to become a patron, I will say we forgot to mention, if you do want to send a message to the show, maybe just, critiquing our grammar, critiquing our facts.
Maybe let up on the grammar emails a little bit.
Go to hello@talkaboutthatpodcast.com. Send us a note. We love hearing from our fine quality listeners.
Yeah. They are fine quality. You should check out Jonnie W's website at jonniew.com.
We just released a huge pile of tour dates. That's a weird way to put it.
Pile.
It's a big pile of tour dates. It's a bunch of them. It's a list, really, is all it is. But I might be coming to your city.
A molehill of
It's a molehill, and watch yourself out there. These molehills.
I'm telling you.
I got moles in my yard. My yard's very, it's smushy, you know, when you walk out and you go, these are tunnels.
You're not getting rid of them. There is nothing you can do.
You can't do anything.
There is no hope. I've hired people. There's no hope.
What do the people say? Do they say there is hope?
Sure, pay me, I'll do it. Nope, you're not going to do it.
And you go, who told you to tell me this? The mole? There's a mole.
Is there a mole in your organization?
There's a mole in the van being like, how much do they give you?
Well, I have moles.
Rubbing his tiny paws together.
I have moles and voles.
What?
Do you know what voles are?
Well, no.
Yeah.
Is it like a Tennessee mole?
Moles make tunnels.
I say it's great to be a Tennessee vole. Okay.
Only the Tennessee people got that.
That's okay.
A vole. So how I found voles was I came out and I had a bush. Been there for years. Little bush. I thought, it's kind of leaning a little bit.
Yeah.
I reached down to kind of touch it.
Right.
It just pops right off in my hand. And at the bottom, there's little chew marks. So voles will eat the root systems.
Yeah.
That's how I discovered. So I have moles and voles. And you can tell the moles make tunnels. Voles make holes. Anyway.
Would you like to buy a vole right now and solve the puzzle?
Pat, I'd like to.
I'd like to solve the puzzle.
Yeah, it's...
Is it total destruction of my property? Thank you.
Thank you.
You won.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, I don't know what I have, but I got tunnels and my yard's very mushy.
Your dog should be taking care of that.
She's old.
Yeah.
She can barely see the
Mine
voles. She smells them. She's probably upset. She's just very upset.
Okay.
It's like us with problems in the world. We're like, but we're not doing anything. Yeah. We're just like, tunnels!
Just makes her upset.
Just angry, but that's okay.
Great. That's great. Hey, by the time you guys listen to this,
yeah,
I just want to know, and I know how you feel about this.
Oh, boy.
But if you haven't gone back and watched Jemai Mashack
hit
the game winner,
that was something
Tennessee
else.
Basketball against Alabama,
Yeah.
you should go watch it. And all the defensive plays before that to get to that point.
Just great that this is a guy who, you don't draw that play up for necessarily, and he got his flowers. That's really cool. I liked that a lot. Because he's the one who put the game into that position with his defensive play and his free throws, and then he gets a chance to shoot a half-court shot, basically. Yeah. It goes in. Craziness.
Yeah. And we're 1 seed as of right now. And tonight,
we've jinxed it.
Tonight we play Ole Miss, which is going to be a tough game on the road. And
not for us, John. We're going to win by 10.
What we need, everybody, is we need
you to pray.
Alabama to
send
beat
us
Florida,
money, become a patron. Oh,
and we need Auburn to beat Alabama, and we need to win out. And I think we should be a 1 seed.
What would Mr. Icee say about this?
Hey, yo, he's back.
He is back.
In 6th grade, to be clear, I'd gone nowhere.
You'd gone nowhere, and somehow you were back.
I hadn't had a career.
You meant back from the bathroom, like a hall. Like you had your bathroom.
There was no
pass.
career that had ended, and now I was restarting it. But that's just what everyone talked about.
Don't call it a comeback.
Like
I'm in middle school.
Back,
Yeah.
Were they ever? I don't know.
Yeah. Where did Backstreet Boys come back from?
Right. It's always a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's the radio DJs. They're always coming back.
They're always coming back, and we're back. Well, guys, we'll be back next week. We promise.
We will. Yeah, guys. Thanks for listening, man. Check out all the stuff online. Lots of new videos there. You can go watch us if you'd like to see some things and be looking online for some more clips that are out there. If you see them, share them, man.
Won't you share?
And leave a review on wherever you listen to your podcast. Leave us a 5-star review. If it's not going to be 5-star, just don't do it. If you're going to give, do we want honesty? Not really.
Yeah.
We get enough honesty already.
We do. We have wives, y'all.
I mean, so much honesty. But if you want to say something nice, we'd love to hear from you. But guys, thanks so much for listening. It means a lot. We'll see you next week here on
Talk About That.